Oh my god. What the fuck is happening right now? Oh, this is the best day of my life.
I like going down the pond chasing bluegills, dummy cats.
Welcome to Chumming Up. I'm Squirrely. With me today, we have my on again, off again co-host, Lee Mitchell.
Happy to be here, Squirrely. Always good.
Yeah, you got to learn to quit me, mate. I'll only break your heart. You excited about tonight's podcast?
Oh, this one's going to be a cracker.
It's going to be good.
Very, very good, yep.
I'm excited because we got some world-class fishermen here. They just won the heavy tackle tournament. They've done massive shit, making ripples all across the world in the form of bill fishing. We have Wes Jones and the man himself, Eddy Big Biscuits Lawler. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
How you going, mate?
Yeah, good,
Thank you, mate.
You still up and about from the win on the weekend?
Yeah.
Feeling a bit better than yesterday.
Boys went a little bit harder than I did, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, you kept it tight?
Yeah, no, we had a few beers on the boat, but, you got too much talking, not enough drinking.
That's not too bad. So, for everyone out there, you did just win the heavy tackle tournament in Exmouth. How many of those have you won in the past? Is that?
It's 3 now, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Just 3?
Yeah.
That'll do. Came down to the wire. Obviously, you didn't win the major prize of the lure raffle. I think Pussy Galore took that out. but you were able to settle for the win.
No, it was very good. And, it was, like you said, down to the wire there. That last 15, 20 minutes was, there'd been fish called in every day on the last 15 minutes. And, Kath come across the radio saying, 15 minutes, line's out, calling you hooked up, and the radio was silent, and then it was just like, stay silent.
Stop the clock.
Because you pretty much led from start to finish. You called in the first Marlin, didn't you?
Yeah, first Marlin.
First Marlin, first day, 3-day comp.
Yeah, so it was first Marlin day 1 and first Marlin day 2.
Yep.
And then day 3, it took us a little while to get our shit together.
Yeah, we were running out of puff.
Yeah.
Not enough biscuits on the boat.
Yeah, I was getting slow in the biscuit barrel.
Yeah.
when did you catch that? You only caught one fish on the last day. What time was that? I don't quite remember.
I think it was about, about 2 o'clock. Somewhere around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yep.
We'd missed a fish in the morning. It's a pretty unlucky fish come up and ate us on a mid-turn and tight turn on bait, and, came out of sort of nowhere.
Yeah, righto. Well, I think I can speak for everyone that no one else on any other boat was disappointed to not hear anything until 2 o'clock. but we were all pretty confident it wasn't.
It was one of those fish that you stick your finger up as it jumps off. You're like, you bastard.
Yeah. So how many fish did you end up for the 3 days?
8,
Blue Marlin, Black Marlin.
Yeah, we ended up with 8 fish over. So total, 2 blacks and 6 blues. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, no, it was good. We had that day 2. We released a slam. We had a stripe on the leader. It turned itself inside out and pulled a magic trick and fell off before anyone could stick a tag in it. But
Yeah, okay.
So that was good to get a slam, but it didn't count for the tournament. But
we had the same thing, except my skipper didn't say unlucky. He just said, "Your fault, Squirrely. You fucking you cost us the fish. You cost us the tournament."
They're screaming at you, don't fuck it up.
Yeah. I knew how the tournament was going to go after our first fish. I was not the angler, and we got a double on. So I just asked Leewald to pass me the gimbal. He's like, "Why the fuck haven't you got the gimbal on?" Yeah, okay. No matter what happens for me, it's my fault. So
That's what you get as a crew.
yeah. So, like you were saying, you've won 3 heavy tackle tournaments. How many Game X's, the major tournament here?
So yeah, there's I think it's now 4 or 5, and
Shit.
so it's
That's unreal.
we've had Marlin. Josh got us this year for overall, but we end up we took out the Marlin section. It was pretty good. I think it's 5 in a row on Marlin and 4 overall.
Shit.
So
Yeah.
very happy with that.
Well, I mean, we had the 2 people that fished on your boat in this comp, and your friends Lee Freestone and Haley Della on the podcast before.
Yep.
And sort of Lee gave us a brief history of how you got into marlin fishing, and that pretty much just said, you know, I made Eddy Lawler who he is today.
I did hear that.
I don't think he gave you credit for anything. It was like, I just pushed him. But
Let him run with it. It makes him feel good. So.
yeah. But I mean, I was here in the town when you moved to town, but I was drunk through most of that period. So can you sort of run us through, like, just a brief how everything came together? Because I reckon it's pretty fascinating.
So before we were here, both me and the missus Sib, we met in Darwin, and then I'd never seen WA, and I'd heard a lot about it and wanted to see it, and I'd fished pretty much everywhere else, but around Aussie I just really wanted to see WA and fish it, and we're in Darwin, and then we're like, well, let's do 12 months or more, put no time on it, just start at the bottom and just go around and fish our, for me it was fish and do some surfing and that as well away around. We started in Albany, and then that lasted about 8 months, and I was like, I'm over this joint, and it's freezing cold, and everything wants to eat you down there. So it was like, and everyone's like, how good's Exmouth is? It was like, so we just literally just steamrolled straight here. Sib got a job in the hospital straight away, and then rolled up here I had a 4.2 metre tinny. And, I'd heard
with a
rumours
50 horsepower on it. Or
I'll put that on later. I think it had a 22 banger on it or something that had survived 4 cyclones. But ex-high tinny, it was absolutely flogged. But and guys were saying they catch sailfish and GTs and stuff. I'm like, this joint can't be that that good, to be able to do that. I caught sailfish out of my tinny and caught GTs and sort of had a look. It was like, I was always had the plan to go back sort of to Darwin and do something there. That was where I was guiding, but I'm like, this place is untapped and there was no one doing it. So it was like, caught sailfish, black marlin, GTs and stuff out of my tinny. I'm like, how good would this be with a proper sports fishing boat?
Yeah.
And that's sort of where it went from there.
Where it
was
kicked
sort of
off.
like,
Yeah. And then, like, when you went out by yourself, because you worked on a few different boats before you went out by yourself.
Drove a couple of bottom fishing things here for a couple of guys, and worked in the tackle shop with Gatesy and that there, and just see that we were bottom fishing and that, and out there it's like, we'll try a couple of lures on the way out and catch a tuna or something, bang, catch a sailfish, catch a black marlin, and then the guys are bottom fishing away, catching that, and it's like, this place is pretty I think
tapped
for sports fishing. I'm like,
Well, I think I've caught 3 or 4 marlin on handline from the bottom, just bottom fishing and just pulling them up, and like I remember 2 of them and a sailfish was from the same spot within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
It's when you catch them off the bottom, they're thick, that's for sure. There's a few around where they're following stuff up. So it's but certainly sort of saw a bit of potential there in that side of things, and no one was really tapping into it, that sports fishing side of things, you know. So
and then when you started Peak, like that first year, was there any time where you were like, fuck, this might not work? Or I was shitting myself the whole thing, buy a boat and,
yeah, I'd already stretched Sib out to, the boats, what she told me I could get and what I wanted, and then I did step foot on that container. I drove it 3 times, I'm like, that's the boat. Like, that's the thing to do, what I want to do there to fish it properly. She was you're not getting it. It's too fucking expensive. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up making it work and, got it all. And it took a while, with survey and all the shit, it was sort of, the boat arrived and everything was there and I still couldn't fish, it was like.
Yeah.
But, got it all sorted and got it done and it was, haven't looked back.
Yeah, because I think me and Leewald were actually talking about it on the boat the other day, how many boats start up here and, like, similar idea, they get 2 years in and then that's it. And then they're replaced by another mob sort of thing. So, I mean, for you to start that, like, obviously a lot of people in town would have been looking, similar way.
No, for sure.
And then now to be, well, pretty well worldwide
I think
known.
it's 12 years or something now, going on 12 years, and it's, I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
It's fishing,
you
but,
wouldn't have dreamt to be
I never ever thought, I'd be looking at, down the track looking at getting a game. I always dreamt of even being on a game boat, let alone having a game boat, but, I never thought that, I'd have a 36 Blackwatch sitting around there and be able to go and do what we do. Just,
people say your nickname Biscuits and everyone knows.
I don't think that's going away anywhere.
It's stuck.
Anyway.
It's stuck.
But I think as well, it's interesting. Even I was here when you turned up like Squirrely was, and it's interesting even to hear it, like hear you saying like that. How much work's gone into it. Because now everything looks glamorous. What you guys both do, and I know, but I don't know if everyone knows. Obviously, Eddy, yourself, you've been to Cape Verde and Cairns, and you guys have, and Wes has been to Hawaii and Cairns that I know of, let alone what else you haven't done. It's not, it is glamorous because it's what you love, but it doesn't just happen. You guys have fished with the world's best in the world's best locations, and you both come back to here and just go, well, why do we want to go to those joints? This joint's as good, if not better, as well. And then you guys have arguably put it on the map, especially for Blue Marlin.
Yeah.
For all of that as well,
There's one explanation for that, and this joint fucking rocks.
Well, I mean, that was my next question was obviously today I just went onto the Peak Sportfishing website, which is pretty flash, and I read your story about how you became, part of the crew sort of thing. Like, can you sort of run us through that in a way of how it happened? Could you?
It's a funny one. Like I had some mates that wanted to come here fishing, and being from South Australia, like it was always like you always just dreamt of marlin. Like being in South Australia, you never had the opportunity for it. And for me, it was just we had some pretty good fishing at home for what we had at home, but it was always the one goal of like it sounds weird. And you can't really say it for South Australia, but the one goal was big marlin. Like that's from when I can remember when I was young, that's what I loved. Like I didn't have it, but I was going to strive and push as hard as I could to get there.
Yeah.
But originally I came here fishing, I had some guys, some mates at home that wanted to come here fishing and that sort of stuff. And we actually went GT fishing the first time, and they weren't that keen on marlin fishing, but we all wanted to catch a good GT, and we started fishing with Ed, and then Ed and I obviously become good mates, and the ball started rolling from there, and went to Cairns, and then Ed's like, I need a crewman.
Yeah.
And that's just where it took off, and then he pretty much wrecked me for life. So I caught me first one with him. If I had me way, I'd probably catch me last one with him too. But
yeah, I mean, some of the fish you guys have got, like I'd probably know a quarter of the real good ones, but obviously the biggest one that you're known for at least here, if not everywhere else, is the 1,000-pound Blue Marlin, the first one caught in Australia, off your boat. Like I know we were chasing it. They had the big comp for $10,000 for 2 years for anything over 500 pound. But like, it probably wouldn't have done it justice if you didn't catch it. To be honest, but how was that moment like leading up to it and then catching that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was a shitload of time. You know, it was for us. I say to Riley and that all the time. It's just we'll get our shot. We got to just keep working through the fish. You know, they're here. They swim past, and it is looking for a needle in a haystack. Those big blue marlin, but more time you spend out there.
And just on that,
back and forth.
They don't grow on trees.
Yeah, they're just
They're pretty special.
You need to be in the right spot, the right time. Everything. A few things do need to line up, but the thing that I can do to put myself in the position is obviously we do what we do charter wise, but I fish every possible day off I can get. If there's blue marlin out there, I want to be out there fishing them. The only thing that stops me is a service or unfishable weather. Just want to be out there pulling shit around to catch them. It's like they're here for 4 or 5 months of the year, and I've got to get through the rest of the year doing a bit of bottom fishing and a bit of this and a bit of that. But when it comes to this time of year, it's
blue marlin.
Just want to be doing that as much as we can.
That's why you burn the candle at both ends this time of year.
Yeah, and I think it definitely shows. You're fishing 10 to 12 hours a day fishing, and that, like saying the glamorous side, I see is out there. I got to run on the boat yesterday, but then it's obviously 16-hour days or whatever, because every crimp, every little piece of line is checked and double checked, and there's a lot of those little 1%ers, like lots of them. And that's, I think, where particularly you guys stand out in the field, is nothing is skipped. You can see it. The prep's insane. Everything's immaculate,
She'll be right isn't an option. Perfection's the only option.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is more of a love fest than what I thought. No shit, the whole comp, we were not saying these nice things about you.
Especially when they call it a fish.
Yeah, fuck that biscuit eating. But the one thing I want to know is you come across like you laugh a lot, fairly jovial sort of fella. I've never fished with you or seen you fish, but every skipper I've fished with or when I've been a skipper and, that big fish is on or that moment's there, the tension builds. Like when you had that 1,000-pound and you knew it was, like a big fish.
Yeah.
Was it tense on the boat? Was there the whole, fuck, let's not lose this, boys?
Yeah, no, I was shaking from head to toe with it, for sure. But there's a hell of a lot more yelling coming out of Lee and Haley than Wes and myself. But yeah,
I think I told Freestone to shut up at one point. It's all good now.
It's all good if you catch it.
Yeah, that's it. But certainly
good.
there's not too much. More of the boys are probably just gathering, when we get a fish up left or right or on the tees or whatever is a size or what it is to throw at, which is, I did learn, the hard way from yelling. It just doesn't work. I do yell I probably yell more when I lose a 200-pounder from something that, you should have done or driven the boat there or, something's happened. I get more frustrated with that than just missing a big one from something that the fish has done or it's it's just on to the next. But it does yelling doesn't really help.
It's hard
Oh, it's
not.
worth a crack. I'm still practicing at the yelling, so I haven't perfected it yet. I've gone the other way. I just got to lift my game up a little.
Don't get him wrong. There's some things that I would never think of being someone's vocabulary, but it happens.
Nah, it does, especially if you're on a shit run. A few things get more said at the fish than anything.
Oh,
I don't throw anything at the boys or anything. I haven't got to that stage yet.
What do we do wrong? Nah, nothing. Not you. That fucking thing jumping away.
yeah. I've been known to cartwheel a hand line back when I was bottom fishing and the sharks were up. Just hand line spared it. Like, start up the boat. We're moving. So attention. That was the next thing was you talked about like catching the 1,000-pounder and all the stuff you'd done before it. What I found interesting was that didn't change afterwards. Like for me, if I'd been in the same situation, caught the 1,000-pounder, like which was a massive thing for the WA coast. Like everyone had been waiting on it. Like the talk about it had started when I was, or like that I heard, was back when I was a decky, like starting at 17. So you're looking, 17 years ago type shit. And there was talk of 1,000-pounders then. And then the 1,000-pounder gets caught. It's your boat. Like your name's pretty much just solid. Done. And then, I don't know, since then, you know, you've got a day off, you still fish.
Yeah.
Weather's fucking 20 knots. We're like, nah, we'll sit at home and eat pies.
Sounds pretty good.
Well, that's why you got the oven for the boat. Now we go out and eat pies. But what's that motivation now? Like, is it to just stay the best, or is it you've got the fish that you're chasing? Or?
I think, I bounce off Wes as well, as much as he bounced off me. You know, it's just, catch another one. You know, and they're the best things ever. There's nothing that I've come across. There's plenty of stuff swimming around out there that, I go trout fishing in New Zealand, but there's Blue Marlin. There is nothing on this planet that comes close to them. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I obviously went out with you guys yesterday, and that's what was interesting talking to Wes about large black marlin as well. After, like, for everyone out there in the heavy tackle tournament, there was a boat in the tournament who's really well known for catching marlin on the west coast, Scott McGowan on the Wench, and he fought a black marlin for 8 hours and never landed it. And me and Wes was saying, like Wes was telling me that's a large goal as well, There's also that has never been done on the West Coast either.
Yeah.
It's pretty special out of one port. There's only very few places in the world, and Exmouth has a huge potential for it. In our point of view, definitely my point of view, that you can weigh 2 over the mark of either species. There's very few places in the world that can say they can have that capability to do, and this joint's one of them.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
even just when you guys are talking about that,
Mm. Well, I mean, you have all talked about what you did yesterday without actually talking about it. Yeah. That was one thing I find interesting, just sort of being on the outside of game fishing clubs and groups of people and stuff like that. Yesterday you took a spearfishing charter to spear a Blue Marlin. You had Mike Kane from Spear West who speared one.
Yep.
Obviously there's like a fairly big split in people that game fish on. Is that something where you want to see that?
To be honest, the start of it, spearfishing for marlin was, I didn't know a lot about it, and then actually first time I'd done any of it was with Lee, and seeing what the boys do and the way they, you're baiting and switching them a human, and and then they shoot it, but and then they got to swim for it. Do it. You know, it is something very cool to see go down, and something I had very little. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it until I saw it, and since seeing it go down, it is fucking.
It's pretty
Cool. Let alone, I haven't even seen the side of what those boys get to see.
Yeah, from the
subsurface,
boat,
which I think would be. Yeah, we froth on seeing stuff come on a dredge on a tow can, like jumping in and seeing that thing that's trying to kill something, and you know you're in there with it would be unbelievable.
Watch this space he's getting in.
I'd love to say that. Buddy, because during the comp, someone caught a mako. That would be always in my mind. I've been on the boat when someone's gone in. Oh, there were 2 makos caught.
2 makos caught, yeah.
There you go. Like, that would be in my thought if I was jumping in. Like, I'd want someone fairly decent spot. Like, go, mako. Like,
Funny you say that because Mike shot the Blue Marlin yesterday, and I jumped in just to be there and help in case anything went wrong or whatever, you know, just to watch. And we had a silky shark come in right near the end. We ended up with 2 there, and I'd totally forgot the mako thing. And when the silky come in, I was like, that's right, there's sharks around here. And I was doing the old look over your shoulder thing too. I was like, oh, that's right, we're out in 1,000 metres of water here.
Do you eat much marlin? Like when you... Because it's such a weird thing because I didn't eat them for ages, and then these South African guys that accidentally killed one in GameX, did them up, handed them out. It's literally my favourite eating fish.
I think a lot of people find them. I didn't eat a lot of it, but Snipes is right into them. Wes is into them.
I think the whole hysteria thing, everyone just thinks they're big, so you got to let them go. Like, people are happy to go and kill a bottom fish.
Yep.
But like a striped marlin that's say 40 kilo is way younger than someone having to kill a 6 kilo red emperor. Like, there shouldn't be. In my mind, I know everyone's got their own opinion, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but there's no reason why someone should criticise someone for having to kill a marlin.
Yeah.
In my point of view.
Well, it's an interesting thing. Like we've talked about on here, I think they aged the oldest reef fish recently that they have was 80 or 60?
81, I think.
81 years old sort of thing. Yeah. And yet, like, you could dive down, spear that, put it on your Facebook page. You're not going to get anything other than congratulations. But if you kill a marlin, which is a fast-growing fish, there's very few ways to catch a marlin. There's no, like, mostly the biggest worry for them fishing was long lining, and there's none on the WA coast.
There's 2 boats left.
Yeah, very
but it's
little.
minimal. Like, I think it's been proven the commercial side of it's pretty sustainable.
Yeah.
And I think these boys would agree that numbers from what you guys would have seen, I wouldn't have say changed much. So
No.
Yeah. See, I have like very little interest in killing any, but I'm prepared to kill any, and I don't understand anyone who goes fishing or anything else like that. If you're not prepared to kill the fish, I don't understand why you would go, because some of them might not make it.
It's the old argument, isn't it? Like, you're prepared to go around, say for instance, in a game fishing scenario where there is a bit of divided interest about whether you should kill them or tag them. You're happy to chase the thing around for an hour and then stick a hole in it with a bit of plastic and torture it, or you're happy to actually kill it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, and I think that's a funny thing I get to see a lot of because A, I'm a commercial fisherman, B, spear fisherman, and then C, game fisherman. And you always see, particularly spear fishing and then sports fishing, the sports fishing, they're not actually killing them, so the resource is still there, which is good. But then spearfishing, what you're doing is providing food. Where game fishing is, like you said, torturing an animal for fun. So well, potentially, don't get me wrong on that, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
But not as much as we do everything. We catch them fast.
Yeah.
And do everything possible to get them in the best condition.
That
Let
is
them
what-
go, But there is a percentage that you hook in the eye and bits and pieces. I had some guys that fished with me last year. We caught a striped marlin about 60 kilos. It was hooked in the eye. And I said to the guys, I'm like, that thing will eat really well. And they'd just been talking to me on the bridge about smoking meats and bits and pieces. I said, you ever smoked a marlin? No. They took that thing home and within 4 days I had text messages, we're killing them next year. They're like, that's the best smoked fish
Yeah.
we've done, and I haven't had, we eat it sashimi, and I can't, I eat anything, but it's, I can't tell the difference between yellowfin and a striped marlin. It's as good as anything.
That's a
Even
funny.
sashimi.
That's a funny thing in Australia. After being to New Zealand, like you said, with going trout fishing there, I had smoked striped marlin there, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And over there, it's all about utilising that. They kill lots of marlin and eat them, and it's considered a good thing.
Yeah.
And even as far as go in my shop, probably twice a year, I would have different New Zealanders that are up here on holidays fishing that are probably going with yourself or other charter operators or whatever. And they'll come into the shop and they'll go, you got a smoker in here? And I'll go, yep. And they go, great. When we go fishing, can we bring the fish in? And I'll go, no, I'm not actually allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But they're already interested in doing that before they even leave the port,
Well,
And
New
it's-
Zealand's got them all set up. They've got smoke out. You take your fish there, they deal with it, smoke it, pack it and everything. You end up walking out with 2 boxes and your fish is already all done, a week later or however long it takes. And they got, as much cheese and biscuit, smoked marlin that they can...
yeah. And that's what they want from me when they come into the shop. They think I can provide that service, which we can't here in WA through legislation.
You
but-
probably would have been up to like 15, 20 years ago sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely, But it's just interesting that, they before they're even gone, they want to eat it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see today, I don't know, I'm assuming you guys all know about it, about the EGFC introducing that competition for broadbill.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So is that something that, like, because you're obviously going to start getting charter interest for it or more? Is that something you expect or?
It's... I'm the worst person to be talking to about swordfish. Like, I went first time ever.
Yeah.
Went night fishing, caught one, thought I was an absolute hero. These things are a piece of piss. Done another 17 nights, haven't even been close to catching one. So, Wes, on the other hand, he's the one to be talking to about swordfish. So,
Yeah, is that like it? Have you been a part of the decisions on that, or
Nothing to do with the comp. It's certainly on the radar. Like Leroy and I were talking about it yesterday. Like the potential of this joint's really good. I go to Tassie. Excuse me. I got some mates that there. I go fish with them every year, and this joint, like it has the potential, and haven't been a part of any decisions to do with the comp, but it's certainly on the radar to give it a red hot crack. I'll tell you that right now. So
yeah,
And you've caught a couple of big ones in Tassie, Wes.
yeah, I've caught some nice fish in Tassie. I guess you could say it's always good to say you've released one, but we had one on the leader that was a really nice fish, something similar to the club that's down the club now around that 500 pound mark, and weighed one over 400 and a few around that high 300. So nothing extremely huge, but it's like marlin fishing. You always dream of that giant. So.
yeah. So you've caught a few here as well.
We've had a fair old crack. We think we've had a couple of bites. It's always easy to say when it's 500 metres down when you can't see you've had a bite. It's like it's that mystery bite we were talking about.
Yeah, the old mystery. We had a
It's
few of them swordfishing too.
Yeah.
Squirrely.
was it
Yeah.
last year we stole one off a Mako?
yeah. So we came.
That's right.
We came back and Ed goes, I can see a kill slick. And I said, oh, what is it? And he goes, I don't know, but we're coming up on it. And he goes, it's a sword. And oh, shit. well, you ain't having that, you poxy mako. So we come up on it and I gaffed it and pulled it over and it was actually still twitching when I put it on deck.
So you gaffed the broadbill out of the mako's mouth.
Yeah, bugger him, he ain't having that. He don't deserve that. And then we tried to hook the mako. We got the mako on, but we lost it. But
Yeah, we were taking that too.
we probably had, by the time he'd done with it, we probably had at least 70 kilos of fresh sword on the deck. So that was a little one for the diary and where they are. So, but it's I think it's going to be like any fishing. It's something you're going to have to put time into and like we were talking about with that, the 1% of things, that's the thing for us. Well, for me as a crew, for Ed, it's the 1%ers is what makes 100. If you're not willing to put in all those 1%ers, then don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, righty. That's cool as. Like, I obviously only had a glimpse of some of your records and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of the fly fishing for marlin once, and like I don't understand shit when it comes to fly fishing. I don't understand why people do it. I used to yell at them in the marina as a kid. Fucking get out of here, you dogs. But it seems something really big, and it seems like a lot of internationals come here to do that sort of shit. I know you've got some records with it. I just don't understand them. So, is that something you focus on, or is it just something you get asked?
I'll leave you that one. I got to have a little break for a sec.
Yeah, no, for sure. Chasing marlin on fly. It's it's a shit of a way to catch one. It is. It is like to sit there with a 1-to-1 reel and chuck a half a chicken at a thing and hope the hell it eats it. It all comes down to the tees and the guy, the angler cast and timing and everything. It's a great thing. I love doing it with the boys and that driving or being an angler, it doesn't matter, but because everyone's got their job, so that is a massive thing with it, which is pretty cool. But I get guys coming, especially to fish Exmouth for black marlin on fly. So there's not too many places left or that you can go and target black marlin with a fly rod and have a very good opportunity to catch numbers of fish and the right size fish for records too. Like the East Coast was great, but they, it's a live bait fishery now, so it's the guys aren't getting the shots on the top. Here, guys aren't sinker fishing with live baits or live baiting the fish before they've even put the bait together to even come up on a tide change or when they're going to bite. So having that here and being able to tease and switch black marlin of the right size gets plenty of guys that are looking for records or looking for numbers of black marlin to do whatever they're doing, chasing slams or that. So it is a special spot with that. I do have one angler that comes and fishes looking for a grand slam with the fly rod. So and his main goal is a super slam. He wants to catch a super slam with a fly rod.
So the 4 in the day.
Yeah.
Because I realised that
You'd have to be pretty good to catch one of those on anything.
I realise, particularly here for fly fishing, a lot of guys want to fill their fantasy slam in a year or just at all on fly. And the black is usually the end of the road, I would say, or a piece of the puzzle.
A piece of the puzzle, like I had Roy fish with us last year and he was just after numbers, he goes, once I caught 5, and then we'll fish for a record. So he was fishing, I think, 8 pound, wasn't it? And but he wanted 5 because then he needed to catch another 5 swords. They're the 2 that are really hard to. So he banks them up, and then
so he wants 5 fantasies.
He catches his
5 royals.
Royals, aren't they?
Yeah.
Royals, sorry.
So once he's got that 5, then he catches a sword. Boom, he's ticked another one off. Catches another sword, ticks another one off. So because you've got all the others.
Yeah, you've
banked up. So which is cool. So
It's very cool.
Yeah, there's
It's funny, like me and Lewald were talking just before the podcast about like fishermen just getting obsessed with patterns.
Yep.
You know, like in like what you're saying, they want this, and this, and to a normal person, they're like, just catch a big marlin. Like the further you go up, the more like Lewald wants to catch doubles of marlin, like in different.
Yeah, we did the maths
species
after. I was talking to Eddie today on the phone, and the boys had a black and a blue on at the same time. And on the weekend in the tournament, me and Squirrely, we caught a blue and a stripe as a double, and that's my first double landed as marlin. And then since that brief encounter and then that conversation, me and Squirrely were talking earlier, I did the maths on it, and if you count the two together, so like sailfish double or the same species, there's actually 20 different combinations of the four of the sailfish, blue, black and striped we get here. And then that's an hour ago, and now I'm already thinking I need to get all 20 of those combinations. And how possible is that even to do? But it's actually a thought in my mind.
It gets quickly into some Rain Man shit. Gotta get a black marlin. Gotta get a blue marlin with it. Like, I don't know. For a normal person, they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just catch the biggest marlin you can catch. But like like, do you come up with a new challenge every season, or do you just kind of go with every bit that comes along? Like,
always usually fish with a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, always looking for the biggest fucker ever.
that's always stuck there.
I'm pretty sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I wake up thinking about it and go to bed thinking about it. But I think there's, I don't know if I can speak. I think I can speak for both of us. There's always common goals every season that we strive for. Whether like we were talking about with hookup rates and percentages, conversion rates and hooking big fish and catching big fish, but it's also about putting numbers on the board too. Like, you want to catch the biggest one ever, but for us, like, I think it's for us, like we're both there. That's why we like I was saying before, burn the candle at both ends to catch the biggest thing ever, but we want to catch everyone, or give us ourselves the best possible shot to catch everyone that comes in our spread.
Yeah.
You catch little ones, you're eventually going to catch a big one. It's just how it is. Like, big fish have their own rules, but persistence, patience, and determination is three big things of what I put into whether I'm skippering a boat for Ed or whether I'm on the deck working underneath him. That's for me. That's the three things. If you don't have determination and a goal set, you may as well. Yeah, that's what it is to me. I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but a goal is important.
Yeah. Yeah, that just makes me realise I should give up.
I have a bad
I've been telling you that for years.
I don't give a fuck about it.
My missus says I'm not normal, Squirrely. I think she's right.
Yeah, I'm just scared of Lewald. He just rocks up, gets me on the boat and starts yelling at me. Otherwise, I'd just stay in bed the whole fucking time. I'm not going to hold you any longer. Is there any questions you wanted to ask, Lewald?
No, I thought it was good. I actually learned a lot just in that short time myself.
Anything you guys want to say? You good?
Yeah, that was shit up.
Cheers, lads. Well, thanks for chumming up. Anyone who's listened, make sure you go to the Peak Sportfishing Facebook page, Instagram page. You will see some absolutely amazing shit. Once again, thanks for chumming up, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers. Hey, thanks for listening. If you did like tonight's episode, make sure to like, subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are fucking everywhere. Also, I am bringing a comedy show, if you live in Perth, to Fringe World. Go to fringeworld.com.au. Book for Squelly, heaps Aussie. Get amongst it and get out there.